lot in their day, and that's it. And those are, it's just like, do I have, and inevitably you're not funny. If you're normally funny, then you're not funny, and you can't sing, and you can't, it's just awful. And they may not give you any feedback at all, and you're just like, great.
And can I just ask, when you're filling a slot, does that mean that they know who they want to cast, or they have to see a certain number?
They have to see a certain number.
They do have to see it? Is that?
You just get that sense.
Yeah.
It's that intangible sense of the energy in the room or whatever. And again, because I think Christiane and I have been doing this long enough, we will often know maybe one or two people behind the table, or they're on the creative team, or the casting people, or whatever. So, we're more attuned to the energy of the room, I think, than I am, at least, than when I was younger. But I had a horrible audition last year for a show that was still running on Broadway at the time. And it was horrible because I was sort of prepared to go, and I had gone in originally for it a couple years prior, and didn't necessarily think it was something that I was right for, but something that I could do. So I was willing to go in and try to make it work, and there was an accent involved, and it was my day off on a Monday. I was doing Addams Family, so I came in with my glasses on, because I'll wear contacts on stage, of course, but it was a Monday, and I didn't feel like putting in my contacts. So I go in, I read the scene, it went okay, and then the guy who was running the audition was sort of the production supervisor, so he was the one who kept the show in shape and did a lot of the replacement casting and all of that. Well, I don't know if because I was wearing my glasses, or I don't know what seemed to, but he was like, well, he mentioned something about my glasses, and I was like, yeah. And he said, all right, let's try it again now, and you can't see. You're blind. Now, first of all, I'm doing it on, I'm reading I have to read, I didn't memorize it, so I have to read the signs. Then he wants me to be blind, which has absolutely nothing to do with the scene. And I'm all for, like, let's be in class and play, and we're actors and all that, but not at a professional audition for a role in a Broadway show. I'm not there for, like, especially on a Monday, my day off.
Yeah.
It was all those things adding up. But I also felt such sort of antagonism. It was the weirdest thing. It was the worst audition in that way, because I felt that they were not on my side. That this man and his assistant, who then, as I'm trying to be blind and read and not see, I have to deal with two readers, because there were two people in the scene. It was just horrible. And then I'm going through, and then one says to the other, oh, I don't really believe he's blind. Do you? I swear to God, if I didn't see some kids of a certain age, I would tell you exactly. It was just, it was mortifying. It was horrible. And I took a deep breath, and the casting director, who I've known forever, who was sitting in the back of the room, who smiled at me, and what I assumed and hoped was that, I'm sorry you just had to go through this kind of way. Yeah. And I walked out of the room. I tried to just, you know what, this is over. I'm not going to get this gig. I don't want this gig.
You're like,
but it was horrible because, that very rarely happens to me, at least, where I'm in a situation where, I love a cold reading. I love to throw something at me. Tell me, okay, do this scene again. But this time, he's had a bad day, or maybe he's really, whatever. Give me an adjustment as we,
Yeah.
But don't give me an adjustment that has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm there to audition for on my day off. I had to wear my glasses. So anyway, I didn't want to do Billy Elliot anyway.
Yeah.
Did you audition for Fester in Addams Family?
Yes.
Did you audition for that? And do they I guess you knew this, but did they say, how do you feel about shaving your head? Didn't you have to?
Yeah, I think yeah. I mean, look, I have my head's been shaving itself for a little while. So I wasn't, and I shaved my head actually when I did Cabaret down here at Arena Stage years ago. So I had shaved my head once before, so that wasn't an issue or a concern for me. So yeah, I think early on at some point they said, would he shave his head? You didn't have to. The understudies all wore skull caps, because they didn't want to shave their head. But no, that wasn't.
But you're a pro.
It wasn't.
Yes.
Well, and now I'm in opposite land where I can't shave, which is sort of horrible in its own way. So yeah.
Can I sound like that?
Yeah.
I can't beat that because that's more recent. But this is, we were targeting, young actor trying to be what you think you're supposed to be. So this was right out of college, and it was one of the first. I think the first Phantom of the Opera audition I ever went to. I never booked that job, but so So Phantom of the Opera, and I knew they wanted that you had to sing high, and I mean I knew the score, but I was still in a weird college land where you're trying to be interesting, and you know. So I sang this song called The Golden Ram, which is by Richard Rodgers, and it's like, the golden ram, the gold. I mean, it's not at all, sounds nothing like Phantom. It has nothing to do with it. But it has this ridiculous cadenza at the end of it, which I decided I needed to articulate. Well, this is what I did. I went, oh, and by the way, I couldn't sing high. I couldn't sing above the staff without cracking until I was in my mid-20s. And this was when I was 21, maybe?
Oh, that's not mid-20s.
No,
Oh.
not yet.
Oh.
Right, okay. So, the end of it. Getting higher. And I knew they needed a really high note at some point. And you get into space. I'm like,
And did they go, we'll get back to you?
They called her back for the role of the Phantom.
I did that.
You should have.
I did that, yeah. In earnest, too.
You should have had the good little. Should have had the little at the end. The little. I'm not going to go there. All right, there. Mitchell, you got another one?